Bonjour, today we will be continuing with our review. We will be looking at les verbes réguliers and a couple of verbs that are irregular but follow the same pattern as these regular verbs. You will need, bien sûr, votre cahier interactif, des ciseaux, du ruban, un stylo ou un crayon, et aussi des papiers comme ça. Les verbes en ER, manger, ouvrir, préférer. Les verbes en ER, les verbes en RE et les verbes en IR. So what I would like you to do is to start avec les ciseaux et coupez-les. Thanks to movie magic, I now have, ta-da, these beautiful flowers. De belles fleurs. I am going to start with les verbes in ER because ER verbs are the largest group of regular verbs and they are the easiest. So what I would like you to do is to please fill in on each of these petals the ER verb ending that is associated with each subject pronoun, starting with je. Es, ons, ez, ent. So if you remember our terrible song, es, ons, ez, ent, these are ER verbs. Woo! The next verb I would like to look at is manger. Please pardon my neighbor's lawnmower in the background. So this is the verb manger, and you may recall that manger is a regular ER verb that has a very special form. I want you to think about what that form might be for a moment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually conjugate the verb manger on each of the petals, starting with mange, 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 mange. Now remember, when we get here to the new form, if we simply drop the ER and add ONS, instead of having mangeons, we will have mangon, which is not correct. So we need to add an E into the form. So mangeons. Just like in English, adding an E after the G keeps the soft G sound, mangeons. Then we have manger, M-A-N-G-E-Z, and mange, M-A-N-G-E-N-T, and of course, E-N-T is silent. What I would like you to do is to find out what does this verb mean, and to write that information right here underneath the infinitive in the middle of the flower. Moving on. Let's take a look at the verb ouvrir. Now I know that ouvrir ends in IR, so you would expect that it would act like an IR verb, but this is indeed an irregular verb, but it's only a little irregular. What's irregular about it is that it is conjugated like an ER verb. So I'm going to take off the IR, and I'm going to add the ER verb endings. Ouvre, 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 ouvrons, ouvrons, ouvrez, ouvrez, and ouvre. Your job is to find out what this infinitive means and write the English translation underneath it on this flower. The very last ER verb or ER verb-like object I'd like to look at is the verb préférer. And you'll notice, il y a deux accents aigus ici, préférer. And what ends up happening with préférer is that this second accent flips backward into an accent grave when you conjugate this verb. But it doesn't happen everywhere. So let's start with the places where it does happen. Préfère. And you'll notice that the accent has flipped over. And this happens in all of the singular forms. Préfère. And again, I'm flipping my accent backwards. Préfère. Okay. And outside of that, the endings, the verb endings, es, and are exactly the same as a regular ER verb. Now I'm going to skip nous and vous. I'm going to put a star on each of these petals. And then I'm going to skip them. Then I'll go over to il and elle. And again, I'm going to take that second accent and I'm going to flip it backwards. Préfère. Remember, and te is silent. Now if I go back here to nous and vous, these are special in that the second accent remains the same. So, préférons. Notice the accent remains the same. Préfère. Whoops. Pré. Haha. So again, the accents remain the same. Il y a deux accents aigus here, and ici, il y a deux accents, un aigu et un grave. So that second E has the accent grave. Again, your job is to find out what this infinitive means and to translate it underneath the French in the middle of the flower. Okay, we have two other types of regular verbs. The first one is les verbes in RE, so verbs whose infinitive ends in RE. And now, how do we conjugate those? They're not going to have the same endings as ER verbs. They'll have their own set of endings. And these are pretty simple. They are S, S, and then over here for il, elle, and on, there is no ending. So this is blank. For nous, it is ONS. For vous, it is EZ. And for il and elle pluriel, just like with ER verbs, the ending is E and te, and of course it is silent. So we have a song for this one, remember? SS blank, ONS, ONS, easy, easy, ENT, ENT. And these are the RE verbs, verbs whose infinitive ends in RE. One last type of verb to conjugate. And these are les verbes in IR, so IR verbs. IR verbs are a little bit more complicated because the endings are longer. And because they are IR verbs, all of the endings will have the letter I incorporated into them. So here we go. The endings are IS, IS, IT, ISSONS, ISSEZ, ISSENT. Okay, so one more time, and using the song that we have for this, IS, ISIT, ISSONS, ISSEZ, ISSENT, ole. Now, I would like you to please get out your notebooks. Bon ben. Et puis, tenez la page, ou quelle page? Page 12. page 12. But before we take a quick look at this, did you remember to put your translations on les prénoms de sujet? If not, you should copy them down now. Okay, on this page, page 12, we are going to start with the ER verbs. All of the ones that are the same color. In this case, they are rose. So here, this page, I'm going to label it les verbes en ER. And as per usual, I'm going to put la date. J'écris la date. For you, you should use the appropriate date, whatever the date is for you. Now I'm going to attach these into my notebook, and I'm going to try to get them all on the same page. And as I go to do that, I notice that they're not going to fit very easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold down all of the petals on these dotted lines. Why don't you go ahead and take a moment to do that now for all of the flowers. Okay, we're back. You should have some little folded up flowers like these, 4 of them. Now what I would like you to do is to attach a couple of tape loops on the back of the hexagon and tape these into your papers. Sorry, into your notebooks. Come back when you have finished that. Just in case you're not sure how to make a tape loop, take a piece of tape, fold it like this, fold the other side all over on the top of it with the sticky side out, put it onto your flower, and then tape it onto your page. Now, if you've done this right, you should be able to open up all of these lovely flowers. Did you remember to put your translations on each of your flowers? And then, because you can't fold your notebook closed with all this stuff sticking out, you can close them back up, making them nice and neat. For when you close your notebook. Okay? Now if you would go back.
Bon, ben, you can see here in the indice where I have added les verbes in ER, page 12, les verbes in RE et IR, page 13, avec la date. And please make sure you're using the date that is appropriate for you. This is all for this portion of our review. Join us next time when we add several items to our meta-language section. Merci.